Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from rainy Costa Rica. Tonight's topic is going to be, what is reactive abuse? Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. So reactive abuse, the best way to explain this is when one individual is pushing and provoking and prodding another individual over a period of time, and eventually the individual who's being prodded or poked or pushed, basically abused, they can't take it anymore, and they react. Now, this is a tactic that the narcissist uses. It's called reactive abuse. And what happens is, many times the person in the relationship, let's say it's a romantic relationship or siblings, but for this context, let's just say it's siblings. One is a narcissist, the other is not. And the one who is not is always just being blamed for, put it this way, they're being gaslit, they're being abused by the narcissist. And the other sibling who is being abused, just one day they can't take it, and maybe they lash out, maybe they scream, maybe they just let the narcissist have it because they can't take it any longer. Another example would be like this in the sports world. Let's say that there are two, Team A and Team B, and a player on Team A and Team B each get into a scuffle or a fight. Well, the player on Team A may have may have had a cheap shot and done something bad, but Team B retaliated and Team B gets penalized. That's probably a better example. You see, it's the person who actually was being abused who gets blamed, when in fact they did nothing wrong. And the narcissist loves to do this. It's called reactive abuse. Please understand this definition, because when you are in a narcissistic relationship, you do not know who or what you're dealing with. The narcissist does, because they fine-tune their skills over their period of life, and they know exactly which button to push with you. And reactive abuse happens many times. Let's say it's a romantic relationship, and it's after the love bomb stage, and everything's going okay, but you're being devalued and you don't know it, but you can't quite figure it out. And each and every day or week or month, it's getting worse and worse, and you can't pinpoint it. You're like, what is this? Like, I just married this person, or we're in a serious relationship, and they just keep on just belittling me and picking on me and saying how inferior I am and comparing me and triangulating and things like this. Well, over time, the person who's being abused, which my hope is it wasn't you or isn't you, but if it was, you'll resonate with this and drop comments below. But over a period of time, that person, they can't take it. They're being pushed, and they don't even want to go home at night, because when they go home, they know that they're going to get a dose of this person who turns out to be a narcissist. They're dreading it. They don't want the car to pull up in the driveway. They don't want to have to tolerate this kind of stuff. But yet they're in the trauma bond, and they're probably still in love with the person, because the narcissist is using the push-pull technique. Basically, the narcissist is using every weapon in their arsenal they have. But in this case, it's reactionary abuse, reactive abuse. So what happens is, maybe one day the person comes home and the narcissist just hammers them. Just is abusing them. Oh, you're no good. You never have enough money. Look at you. You're gaining weight. I can't believe you. Why'd I marry you? Things like this. And maybe the person had a rough day at work, and they're like, I'm not taking this today. Not going to happen. And they react. Again, this is all set up to give the narcissist supply, to make you look like the bad person, to make you look like you're the, let's say, not so stable one, when in fact you are. It's just that behind closed doors, you're being abused literally day and night for days, weeks, months, years, decades on end. And everybody has their breaking point. Everybody has their threshold. Everybody has that moment in time when they say, no, enough. I won't tolerate this any longer. And most likely, this did happen to you if you're on the channel. If it did, I'm certain you gave every bit of energy to the relationship, and you probably gave it so much more, and you were abused. This is just one way the narcissist abused you, and probably one day you snapped. Or maybe it happened many times, and you're like, no, what is this? Like, who treats another individual like this, especially if you're married or in love? Well, it's a narcissist, and they're looking to get supply from you, because that day they did not get the supply from their coworkers or from other people they tried to manipulate. They just didn't get it. So they said, wow, here comes the spouse. When the front door opens, I'm going to give them a big dose of my abuse, and maybe tonight will be the night they have reactive abuse. Maybe tonight's the night I can make them really look like they're the crazy one, or the one who's not so stable. I don't like to use that word crazy, sorry, I take it back. The one who's not stable. And this happens frequently. It happens over and over again. And when you don't know, when you don't have the education, when you don't understand what reactive abuse is, or that you're with a narcissist, you have no chance. You have zero chance to understand. The reason why is because you can't believe this person that you're in love with is abusing you this way. But number two, you don't even really think it's abuse at the time because you're in the fog and you're just hoping to get a breadcrumb of hope to get back to the love bomb stage because you don't know what's going on, because most likely you lost your sense of identity, your sense of self. You've been abused for a period of time. And then all it took was that one match to be lit, and boom, the keg of the gunpowder keg, whatever it's called, explodes because you've been pushed to the brink. You most likely have been juggling your job, finances, bills, vacations, birthdays, barbecues, holidays, appeasing the narcissist, making sure they're getting everything they wanted, and you are not putting yourself anywhere even on the list of priorities. That's most likely what happened. And again, drop comments if this resonates with you. But when this happens, your defenses are low, your boundaries are zero, you probably have no more money in your bank account, and all it would take literally was anyone to do something, which in this case is the narcissist, to set you off or to put you in a bad mood. And it happens. People reach their breaking points all the time. And remember, the narcissist, they didn't have to be verbal. The narcissist could physically have been abusing you. They really could. Many times the narcissist throws things. Yes, they do. And many times they punch and do things like that. That's about all I'm going to touch on with the physical things, but we all know what we're talking about here. The narcissist will always escalate the arguments. Notice how when you were with, this is for a whole different video, but notice how when you were with the narcissist, you could never have a healthy argument, meaning you couldn't have a disagreement and come to a solution and both agree to disagree, or both agree that one of you was right, and then you moved on and you learned and you grew from it. It didn't happen. It didn't happen once because the narcissist didn't want to hear what you had to say. They just punched the clock with those conversations and said, okay, we yawn, it's over, I'm going to leave now, are we done? Okay, and then they went right back to abusing you. That's exactly what happened, and that is for a whole different video. But what I'm explaining to is when the confrontations or arguments escalate, and they escalate every time, they get worse and worse. In other words, they go from a 1 to a 10. They don't go from a 1 escalated to a 2, escalated to a 3, or whatever. No, they go right from a 1 to a 10. And that's exactly how the narcissist likes things. Pay attention to this. Remember, the narcissist sees you as good or evil, hot or cold, in or out. And it's the same thing with a confrontation. It's either super calm, which doesn't happen, or it's a 10. There's no middle ground. It just doesn't happen. That's why the narcissist blows up all the time. That's why they have rage fits. And that's why if you were in the relationship for a period of time, were the punching bag. You were the one to receive all the abuse from the narcissist, because when the front door closed, they had a green light to abuse you because they knew you didn't have the education. They knew you didn't know what was going on. They knew you would tolerate it. They knew you could take it. And they knew that you had no clue. That's what they did. So, reactive abuse, it's real. It's disgusting, it's insidious, because what the narcissist is doing is they are just pushing your buttons, waiting for that one more argument when you actually blow up and you lose your cool. And then you look like the bad one, when in fact you weren't the bad one, because for X period of time, you gave everything you possibly had. And everybody saw it until that one time with the reactive abuse, and all of a sudden you're painted black. And the narcissist gobbles this up. Why? Because now they can play the victim card, and they can gallivant all over the world getting supply while you look like the bad guy, when in fact it couldn't be further from the truth. You were the good person. You did everything by the book. You gave everything, your energy, your money, your love, your time, commitment, devotion, empathy, everything you gave. But all it takes is one time, you guys. And for reactive abuse, if this resonates with you, again, drop comments, and thank you for being here. But they love it, because then they get to go to run to the new source of supply and mention that, oh, you, which is you on the video, you're watching the video, you're the bad guy, you're the bad girl, you did everything wrong. And the smear campaign is set up perfectly for this, 100%. Because remember, during the whole relationship, not only did the narcissist have multiple sources of supply behind your back, multiple, but they were smearing you. Trust me when I say it. When the relationship ended, it didn't just end and then all of a sudden here comes a smear campaign. Absolutely not. That's when it's all hands on deck. All the rumors and the nonsense they've been talking about you, this is their game time. This is what they've been setting up for months, years, weeks. It's exactly what happens. And again, reactive abuse is disgusting because the narcissist is waiting for somebody, in this case it was you, if it happened to you, to blow up, or to defend yourself, or to say no, or to have boundaries, or to not tolerate any longer. That's exactly what they did. And they knew it. They just didn't know what day it would happen. So guys, I hope you liked the video. I loved doing it from beautiful Costa Rica. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great evening. Stay blessed. Stay true. Continue to become awakened and aware. Continue to walk on the path. Remember, we are all on the same healing path, headed in the same direction, just taking different steps. I love you more than words can say. You are not alone. Have a beautiful evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.